Welcome everyone to our Thank Goodness for Savings event. I'm Jana Matthews.
And I am Mark Martin.
Welcome. We are so happy to be here.
Very
so happy to
happy.
have you here. And we're going to talk about some fantastic products that you see behind us, things that we've launched this year, the last 2 months.
Yes.
And then we're also going to talk about all the savings that are happening.
So many savings.
We don't want you to miss out for Black Friday. We did it the whole month, so we're going to have so much fun. But Mark, what is your favorite thing about Thanksgiving?
My smoked turkey.
Ooh, do you smoke the whole turkey or do you smoke like just the breast or the dark meat?
I've done both.
Yeah?
I've done both. And I mean, for me, I love that because you may have a better way. You may say what way is good for you, but nothing beats a good smoked turkey. So that's what I'll be doing. What about yourself?
I love all the sides. Like the turkey's king, but the
sides.
rolls and the green bean casserole and
Homemade,
everything,
right?
all homemade,
Yeah.
And but my favorite thing about Thanksgiving is pie because I love pie. So
What's your favorite pie?
well, that's like picking a favorite color. I can't do
What's
that.
your favorite color?
Yeah, but we have a funny story in our family. One year, my great grandmother, she wasn't feeling well, and so everybody was kind of like, "Oh, is this the end before Grandma passes away?" And so they all came together, and they said, she's like, "Well," someone said, "Do you want some pie?" And she's like, "Oh, just a little sliver." And so as they went to go cut a little sliver of all the different pies, pretty soon they realized they were making a whole pie, and it became the joke of like, we have so many pies that you're gonna eat all of them, even
Well,
if
that's
it's
a fun
little
way to
sliver.
remember her as well, right?
Yeah.
Every Thanksgiving.
So we'd love to hear where you're coming in from. It looks like, Tammy says my favorite Thanksgiving item is candied yams. Oh, do you put the marshmallows on or the brown sugar so they're just no longer yam, it's just candy, right?
No longer yam, just candy.
Welcome. We've got people from Delaware and Minnesota, Colorado, California, Baltimore, Northern New York. Welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have everybody here. Yeah.
All over, that's great.
And I hope that you're coming to find out and ask questions because we're looking at everything. We're going to talk about things that are on sale. We're going to demonstrate the Hummingbird and the Quilt Motion X foundations for domestics. This one, wow.
Which, by the way, are the two most popular items that we've had. One of them is more popular than the other one. Put in the comments if you can tell me which one do you feel like is more popular out of the Hummingbird or the automated system for all domestic machines.
Yeah.
Because there's a clear winner.
They're definitely clear winner, but we launched both of these in September this year. Some of you joined us for the Hummingbird event where we got to show you everything that was happening. Justice and I were demonstrating it with Jenna and Angelique, and so we got to see how it works. And then we've had the Quilt Motion, and then that's had great stuff in Fall Festival and everything. So we've had lots of fun. So we have Chris says automation.
Okay.
We also have another automation. We have a vote for Hummingbird.
Yeah, keep them coming in. You know, Jenna, around this time, Thanksgiving is great. Obviously, we got the food, but as family, friends, loved ones, and as forgiving, right? And I know a lot of people who do quilts to give to charities or loved ones. What a great time of year to do this. So I'm really excited to be doing this right now, right before the holiday, so we can talk about all the wonderful sales that we have going on. And so you can get what you want to make your quilting that much easier, a better experience, so that you can finish those quilt tops that you have sitting aside, 5, 10, 20, or a stack, however thick that this could be. To make for your loved ones. So what a great opportunity around this time of year to finish those quilts for your loved ones, and even for charity around this time is really fun.
Well, and Black Friday is the best time. The internet has totally changed it, right? I used to get up late or stay up late, get up early, stand in line, and the power of the internet lets
now
me
you can
shop
just shop in your
anytime.
jammies and you don't have to
While
get out of bed.
I'm eating pie. That's what I love.
Yes.
Let's talk about the automation. Yes, that is the one that has been our vote from everybody. There's Lindy again saying automation. So yes, the QMX or Quilt Motion X Foundation for Domestics, it has really taken domestic free motion quilting by storm. It has.
And we will spend a lot of time talking about that bad boy soon, but we have so much to cover in just a small amount of time. So let's, we'll keep bringing the comments in, where you're watching from, and any questions you have. Doing these lives is really great. You can ask the questions. Today we're talking about the Humminbird and the QMX FD, but we're going to go over all our promotions. So whatever questions you have will be, hopefully we can answer those throughout this segment, but please bring in your questions. And bring in if you own a Grace product, put in the comments what you have and why you like it. Those are always fun to read.
So first we want to talk about the Humminbird. Let me pull up a picture of the Humminbird so you can just see it by itself and the special that's going on. So we did an introductory price of $299, and now for Black Friday we're doing the $249.95.
Hard to pass that up. $249, an accessory for your machine at that cost.
Yeah. What I also love about the Humminbird, right, is if you have anybody in your life that you've been thinking, I really wish that they would get into quilting, but I just can't afford to get them a whole system, right? Like as less expensive as the Cutie or the Little Rebel is, like, oh, how do I get them into that? And this is a great way to, maybe you're on a long arm and they're on a Humminbird, or we're going to show you how easy the Humminbird is to move around, and you could take it with you. You can't take your long arm with you all the time unless you have a trailer. But having that option to just take it to a guild meeting or a quilting class, all those things that help you out.
The Humminbird is also for a different audience. So if you're watching this, stay with us, because we'll get to the QMX FD, which is going to be for everybody who owns a domestic machine. Automated for your domestic machine. But as we talk about the Humminbird, Jenna, this product is for those customers who love to sit down and free motion quilt. Okay. Yes. People love it, people don't like it. It's kind of you do or you don't. And we know quilting can be done by moving the machine around on top of the carriage. But if you are the customer who likes to free motion quilts, this would be for you, because this will make that a whole lot easier.
Well, and I find as I talk to customers about the difference between free motion on a frame, right? You're moving the carriage, and free motion with a Humminbird where you're moving the fabric and the machine stays put. Some people are like, I just can't connect moving the machine. Like, I've been sewing for so many years, I've been quilting by pushing it through my machine, and my brain just works that way, and now I'm trying to switch it out. And so having the Humminbird is just such a helpful thing. So I'm going to throw that picture back up again so you can see. Now it comes with that mat, which we also have on our table, which you'll see here in a moment, as well as the carriage. So you're going to see that. And let me pop it down so you can see. We're going to talk about it here now. Okay. I'm going to come over here because I want to talk about...
I'll be right up here in front.
He's in the front. So one of the things I love about this, different than some of our other smaller frames, now they all have ways that you can connect your fabric. And this one, these little things that help hold it on here, I can't even get it off.
Now she's working
on
the
Velcro.
Yeah, bungee strap in the back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is it's removable. So no matter, like before, you would like just have it here and then it's set, or it's stuck inside a little thing.
Yep.
But this one, I can move it. So say I've got all the fabric on this side and I'm like have moved over to the thing, I can actually put this on the side if I need to, not just leave it in the back or the front, or anything. If I'm like, what, I've got extra fabric in the front now than I do here in the back, I want to keep that on. So that was the first thing I wanted to make sure we talked about, that the straps are removable.
That's right. And then the strap on the back, as you see there where she's putting on, that back rail right there snaps into place. And so we want to make sure that everybody knows that. And as you twist, as you see, she's twisting it, and then she can pull that out. And that's how you can get that away from your throw your machine. So if you're looking to remove that off, now you can take this off your table. Okay, you put it back on, it's super light, and you can store it.
And now you're sewing.
And now you can go back to sewing. And what I love about this right now is as I'm quilting, I have the machine facing forward. When you're ready to go to sewing, all you got to do is get your machine, and there you go. And you just flip it 180. Is that even 180? That might be in half, right?
That's 90, yeah.
Yeah, you flip it 180. You flip it 90, and now you're ready to sew again. And so the versatility of the Hummingbird is really easy for you to go from sewing to quilting by using the same machine without a lot of things you got to take apart. You just took the rail, the take-up rail to the throw of the machine, and now you can put this anywhere you want. Really light, I'm just holding it, you can hang it up, you can put it back, but when you're ready to quilt again, oh, why I have this, let me show you as you put it on. So the bottom of these have rollers. So these rollers right here, that's what rolls around the top, and you see on the table back here, we have the mat. That comes with this Hummingbird.
It's like a giant mouse pad. If you're thinking, what fabric is this? You can see it's really flexible, so as I roll it up, it's not gonna leave, it's not like stiff. I can roll it really tight, I can roll it thin, but yeah.
And you can see as I'm moving this around, it just rolls on those rollers. So if I'm quilting along, your design process is going to be easier if you're looking to do tracing, if you're looking to do feathers, swirls, stippling, whatever you're looking to do. It is really easy to grab the sides here and move around and quilt in comfort. Now I'm from the side here, but if you were in the front, you can hold from the sides here, you can hold from the front of the bar right here and move that around to do all your quilting. So the versatility and the easiness of the Hummingbird is why people have really wanted to get it for all their free motion quilting. Because again, this quilting process are for those who do free motion quilting, but they don't want to get away from that right now. So this will be the next step up to create a better experience.
Well, the other thing I like about it is, right, we've said it's for most domestic machines, because there are some domestics that are just too small and may not work. So it's up to, how many throw inches, right?
Yeah,
We've
13.
done up to 13.
Yep.
So the little Rebel works on it. Also, so many other domestic machines, but not every domestic is the same. We know that. So you can take this and adjust the height. So this Juki has, not so very high of a base, but if I had a really high base, I can adjust this up so that I can slide it and be at the height that I need it to be. Same thing if you had a smaller domestic, you could lower it down and then have the ability to make it the size that you need it to be. So that's really versatile. The other thing is, if you have a much smaller, like maybe in a table or something, you can pull this part out and slide it so that, now I did it two different ways here, so you can see this is the roller that's going to be on that other side when I switch it down. So now it's going to be flush with the table as you're going along. So you're not having to think, well, I have this wonderful sewing table, and now I got to figure out, how do I take it out and go someplace else with it, right? So you can keep it in the table and use it because you're able to make it the height that you need it to be.
That's right. So right now, $249. Normally it's $299, but $249. The size of quilting you can do on this too, it's really up to you because it is a hoop style accessory. You can put the size of quilt on there, and with the straps that you saw earlier, that keeps the fabric nice and unified so you don't have anything hanging over, keep everything rolled up. We also have another video of this, so watch the video that we have, and I think, is it Jenna who is doing the video? I believe using it. Anyway, we have
I think so.
one of our educators doing a video.
On our website,
Yeah, watch the video of it being in action where you can see the fabric all rolled up. Really easy, really simple, take on and off, go from quilting to sewing in just a couple steps. Again, for all those quilters who like to do free motion quilting, this will be the product for you to keep it simple.
Well, and I want to show off these markings here
Yes.
on the clips. So you can see the back and the front have these markings here. This is how far you're able to come to your needle, right? Same thing with this one, how far back you're able to come on your needle. You know, if I get to this point, right here with this marking, if I get any closer, right, if I line this up with my needle, that way you're not going to hit that hopping foot section. You're just going to be able to get it in place where you're wanting it to be without having that hopping foot now or your pressure foot hitting everything and trying to get down to it. So these markings help not only for as you're putting it on the table and where you're going, but also showing where your quilt is, because maybe you can't see where this edge is once you have your quilt on.
That's
but
right.
you can see it with the clips.
That's right. So again, $249. Visit your local dealer.
Yes,
A
we have
lot
those
of our
available.
dealers have these in stock because they come in a cute small box. And so visit your local dealer. If you don't know who your local dealer is, come to our website and we have those local dealers listed. But you will find a local dealer near you who has one of these. Give us a call if you have any questions. But $249, Jana, to create masterpieces, easy and simple.
Well, and if you have a local dealer who isn't carrying it, go to them and say, why don't you have the Hummingbird in your shop? I want to test it out. And I want to test it on all the different machines that you have, right? Here we're showing it on one frame, or one machine, but you might want to see, well, I have multiple machines, because I have to admit, I think every quilter has at least, I think the minimum was 3 or 4 sewing machines, right?
Possibly minimum, but we found out yesterday that we know someone who has 43 sewing machines. I don't know why, but again, if you do own several of your own machines, pick the one that you want to use on the Hummingbird. Again, it's simple, it's easy, it's light, it's transportable. You can take it with you. You can do large quilts, small quilts. Again, for the quilter who likes to do free motion, why not make quilting funner and easier and take the stress off of your hands, off of your neck, off of your back, and use a Hummingbird to create those masterpieces. So again, call us or check out your local dealer to order yours now.
So we do have a question. It's not on the Hummingbird, but it's from Denise, and she asks, this may not be on today's agenda, but can the 360 Wonderfoot take the place of the set of the 3-piece hopping foot? Actually, no. So the 3-piece comes with a ruler foot, a micro stippling, and open toe. The Wonderfeet foot set has guides, so as you're going along, you can either stitch in the ditch or echo, and it's just a larger footprint for you to see, but it doesn't take the place of that ruler foot. And open toe and micro stippling are different kind of feet that you need for those sections.
Yep, good question.
Yeah.
But check out the Wonderfoot 2 on our website. And you can see our website explains it really clearly. So check out that listing on the website and you can see exactly what the Wonderfoot does compared to the 3-piece hopping foot set.
Okay, so I'm just looking, I've looked at Facebook and YouTube, and now I'm looking on our website for some questions. We had some lovely where everybody's watching from, some pumpkin pie. They love the Sure Stitch Elite. And just for clarification, the domestic machine is your standard sewing machine and not a long arm.
Yep.
That's correct. That's what that is. And then they're excited to move everything around and not have the wheels hit their hopping foot. So they're excited about that. So, okay, so let's go over we've talked about what the special is for the Hummingbird and what we've got with that, but we've got some other sales going on. First, I want to talk about the Little Rebel.
Yep.
Also available to use with your, let me get that other piece down here, sorry, really quick.
And the Little Rebel, Jana, is another one of those simple machines, 13-inch throw, stitch regulation built in, sewing or quilting, and it's been a machine that has made it easier for the customers who are looking to do both. It's been a fun experience for them all. So you can see the prices there, depending on what frame you purchase, or you can just get the Little Rebel on your own. Yep.
And it is compatible with the Hummingbird. It is compatible with the Mini Quilter.
Yep.
Not that we have a sale on the Mini Quilter specifically, but those are compatible. So if you've been thinking, oh, I've been using my 8-inch, that would be awesome, 8-inch throat, and I'm just ready for that extra little oomph, the Little Rebel will help you with all that. We also have specials on the 16X machine bundles. As you can see there, we recommend all those different frames. And if you currently have a QD and you've been thinking about upgrading, the 16X is a great way to upgrade and get that larger throat space. Has all that. We also have specials on the 16X Elite. Now the difference between the Elite and the X, Mark?
Speed, screen size, and that's probably the thing that a lot of customers like is that large screen size. So it's a 7-inch screen, but speed is a little faster. And you got adjustable handles on both, but really it's that screen size. Now with that screen size, you get several other cool features that come with it. So check out on our website as well. There's also videos on, but the screen comes with a bobbin estimator,
love
as
the
a
bobbin
calculator,
estimator,
has a
yeah.
project keeper, and all of our Qnique machines, as we go through them, has the patented edge warning.
Oh, yes.
So edge warning is a safety area that you can set around your quilting. So if you're new to long arming and you start quilting, what happens is your carriage, when you go side to side of your frame, your carriage hits the side of the frame. So if your carriage hits right here, your needle is like right here. So it's like 7 inches away from the side. Same with the front to back. So that edge warning, you can do a 1/2 inch or 1 inch parameter safety area around there so you don't crash into the side. And that's really important. Trust me,
Makes
as
your
you're
circles.
quilting, yeah, if you're doing a circle and you're coming to the front and you're pulling the machine towards you, well, if your throat hits the take-up rail, you could have a wonky circle at the end. So
And then you have
some
lots of
unpicking.
fun with the Jack the Ripper, yes.
Yeah, so that edge warning allows me to know when I get closer, I'm not going to have a wonky circle, I'm going to have a complete circle. So all of our Qnique machines have that edge warning built into it, which is really nice. But again, your question, the difference between the X and the X Elite is the screen size, the most important, and also the speed of the machine.
Thanks. And so we also have the 19X bundles on sale. You can see there the QD Breeze, the Q-Zone Hoop also are compatible with that 19X. So again, go big or go home, right?
Yep.
If you've got the QD and that's the space you have, the 19X or the 19X Elite will both fit on there and be able to, it's a great time to upgrade with these specials going on and
Right.
take advantage of, have that much more throat space.
100%. I love those. If I can point out, now look at the pricing for the X Elite. Now, sure, the X Elite has a large screen, 19 inches of throw space, built-in stitch regulation, has tons of cool features to it. Now go back to the 19X. I want everybody to check out the prices again. So $58.99, all right, or $74.49. So these are on sale prices, but the 19X has such a great price. And if you go back to the 16X Elite, you're not too far off from getting the 19X. And so if you're looking to go big, now's the time to get the 19X, that wonderful price. You get 19 inches of throw space. It's a great machine, and you get, again, a machine that's going to be user-friendly, and the transition is going to be really easy. So I just want to point those two out as you look at the 19X. It's just those prices are just so crazy in the 19X on that on-sale price compared to the 19X Elite. Now, 19X Elite, great machine, but again, if your budget right now doesn't fit a larger throat machine, but you want a slightly bigger machine, do the 19X with that price.
Yeah, and then our 21X, now you'll notice that it doesn't fit on all the other
No, it doesn't.
frames. I call it a diva because it only fits on that hoop and Elite frame, but that Evolution hoop, if you only have 5 feet of space, that's a great one to start with. You can have the attachment, either do it as a hoop or just as a 5-foot rolling with 2 rails. But again, that's a fantastic pricing going on right now with the Evolution frames with all of the machines that's going on. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but when you buy a machine this month, you get a free light bar. So depending on which frame you're buying, you get that 5-foot if you're doing the Q-Zone hoop, the QD or the Evolution hoop, and you get the 10-foot if you're doing the Evolution Elite or the Q-Zone Queen. It's so fantastic. Just recently, my mom and I were talking, she was doing some cross stitching, and she's like, oh, I love it. It's been so cloudy and I like the rain, but I can't see my cross stitch in the house when it's all rainy. And I said, well, I have a perfect product I can bring home for you on this. And she's like,
I know
really?
a person. I know a person that can get light. So the Little Rebel, we started out with the 16X, the 16X Elite, the 19X, the 19X Elite, and the 21X Elite. All of our machines are on sale right now. So now's the time, if you've been considering a quilting machine, and if you have space, a lot of people say go big or go home.
Go big and go home.
Go big
And quilt.
and go home and quilt. So all of them are on sale. Just pick the one that's best for you. We have a lot of videos on all of our machines, so you can choose what machine is best for you. But take advantage of these wonderful prices. Take advantage of them through your local dealer. Give us a call as well.
Don't think that, oh, I have to go through Grace to get this pricing. This pricing is available with our dealers. It's the same pricing that they all have. And I always say support your local dealers for 2 reasons.
100%.
One, they're there, you can go see them, you can go play with it, you can get their expertise. And a lot of times they're open on Saturdays and Grace Company isn't. And so if you need help on a Saturday, we're not here
Well,
because
better-
we're just a Monday to Friday group.
Yep.
Whereas your dealers always seems to be open on a Saturday and closed on a Monday. And so then you have both options that you can help with.
That's right. And remember, if you go into your local dealer and they don't have a Qnique and you've been considering them, ask them, hey,
Ask
you
them,
should bring in the
why?
Qnique machine. Why? They can give us a call. But we, you know, I don't want to be biased, but these machines, you know, you've been around them for so long. But I really love how easy they are to use, to operate out of the box. It doesn't take a lot of the time to get this stuff going. And so we want to make sure and it's all about the experience. And so as you're quilting, your experience is what's important. We want you to enjoy your quilting experience, especially around the holidays. Now's the time again to look at a machine. All our machines come with a free frame. So if you're looking at a machine and you don't have space, well, the QD has been very popular. Same with the Q-Zone Hoop. But the machines come with a free frame, and the 21X Elite also comes with a free frame. So check out those pricing again on our website or call your local dealer. What a great opportunity it is during this time.
So I want to talk about QCT before we get into the quilt motion stuff, because what does QCT, what's the comparison, right? So QCT 6 is the version that we're on now, and that works with all Qnique machines. Now that includes your 15R, your 15 Pro, your 21 Pro, your 21R. So if you have an older Qnique machine and you're like, well, I don't know if that version, it will work. And I also want to talk about update versus upgrade. So an update, if you have an older version with a Qnique machine, 4, 5, you can update to 6 for no cost.
Yep.
Updates are free. So make sure you're always doing your update. Upgrade is where you had QCT 5 beginnings and you're ready to go to QCT 6 Pro. That upgrade is a cost. So we have specials on QCT right now. QCT 6, you can see there, $2,249 for the base version, that's edge to edge only. And then we have Plus that adds in 2 lines of pantograph and also your pattern placement, so you're just doing one block design. And then Pro, which adds in those design features.
Yep, I'm glad you brought that up because people do ask, what's the difference between upgrade and update? Well,
yeah.
Updates are free because you're just updating, but upgrades, if you go from one tier to another tier, like Jana had mentioned, then that's an upgrade and that is the cost. But it is also on sale, which, you know, I don't want to say is rare, but it's not often that you do also the upgrades in between the tiers. And so what a great opportunity it is to go from one tier to another tier.
Well, and if you've been using QCT 6, this is a great time. It's a wonderful discount. Save over $600 if you're going from 6 to Plus or Plus to Pro, and then save over $1,300. That's almost like the price of the other upgrade. If you're going from the base version and you're like, just give it to me, I want to get the Pro. And then once you have the Pro, you can get the subscription for the gold card. Okay, so let's talk about QMX.
Before we do, and maybe we're going to get this later, but you know, scammers, you know, we talk about a lot of these deals and a lot of what we're doing. And this time of year, we always say it's a time for giving, make your quilts, give loved ones. Well, this time of year also brings in the not so good people, and they try to scam you. So please be aware of the content you get from Grace Company. If you are subscribed to our, you know, email list or anything that you're subscribed with, just please pay content on how it is coming across, because there are a lot of people who switch a few words here and there to make it look like Grace Company, but it's not. So email addresses are another red flag. Make sure there's no @Gmail in there or just a different email, period. You know, if it comes from Grace Company representative, the email will say so. But please be aware of these scammers because they're all over the place at this time of year.
And often, if it's too good to be true, it often is. The other place you'll see some scams is on Facebook. People will do some ads. I know as Joann's was closing, people were saying, Joann's closeout, the cutie at $100 or $20, and people would call us and say, is this real? No, it was not real.
Mhm.
So call us if you have any questions or talk to a dealer. They also can tell you if it's a scam going on, because we don't want you to fall prey and then lose that money that you could be using towards fabric
Yep.
or through the thing that you just really want
Yep.
to do.
Okay, but now the QMX FD. The QMX FD, Jenna, has been a product that has taken the industry by storm, and that is
This is not a
that is
small
no, yeah, that is
comment, yeah.
true. Since we launched it September 10th, we have sold over 1,400 units, and that number is significant because that's the most we've ever done in any product. It's because of the audience that this reaches. As we talk about this, I want everybody to understand, when you're doing quilting, there are several ways to quilt.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you tell yourself, I can't do this, or I'm not good at this, and you get intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the quilts that you're looking at are done by an automated system, mostly on a long arm. And so now, as we talk about this software, you can customize quilts on your own domestic, and that is very important and very satisfying to know that you have a 9-inch machine, 9.5, 8.5, 11, whatever the domestic size of your throat is. That machine, you can now create masterpieces just like a long arm that's 19 inches or bigger, 16 inches or bigger on a more expensive unit. You can now create those types of masterpieces.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear, because some people have said, well, this wasn't clear. And I know when we talked about it, and we've got it on our website, but QMX only works on the QD Breeze frame. So if you already have a frame that's some other type of frame, it will not work. You have to get the QD Breeze.
Yep.
The reason for this is the belts are tied into the boxes that sit in. There's not, with QCT, right, it's a belt, then you extend it out or bring it in for what you need. This one is set exactly the size for the QD Breeze, so you have to use that. The other thing is, people have said, like, well, which machine does it work with? And the system works with the QD Breeze. It doesn't work with the machine. It will, even if you program it and tell it to move, it doesn't know if the machine's sewing or not. It'll just go.
Yeah.
So it talks to the frame. It doesn't talk to the machine. You're kind of the controller of the frame to get it going.
Yep. And more importantly, you talk to the carriage of it, so the carriage that the system is on, it moves that carriage back and forth and front to back. And so it's pretty awesome. We'll demonstrate that here, that the system has no IDs attached, which allows you to do if you look at your stash again, any of the domestic line of machines will work with this, up to a, well, the biggest throat machine on domestic could be, pretty much any machines that doesn't have wheels on it, could be, as long as it fits on that top carriage is totally fine. And the awesome thing about the QMX FD is it's available, it's easy, and it allows for that customization of all your quilts.
Well, and to say that also of what fits on there, it's what's the requirements for the QD. So the QD carriage can hold up to an 11.5 wide, and when I say wide, I'm not saying the length, I'm saying the width of the machine, and can use the sewing machine clamps. If your frame is wider than that, that's okay. Just take the clamps off, because if it's wider than that, it really is heavy enough to not move around. Those clamps are just an extra security, but if
Yep.
it's wider than 11.5, it's 12,
It's
then
okay to
it
take
can
those
sit
off,
there.
yeah.
And then it has to have your feed dogs be able to drop or be covered by a needle plate, right? Like the little Rebel covers with a needle plate. It doesn't drop, but a lot of them drop. And then having a hopping foot is the next thing that we recommend. You can try it with a presser foot, but you're just not going to be able to see everything that you're going to need for that foot.
Yep. Well, you ready to?
Yeah, let me answer. So we've got a question here really quick.
Okay. And as we pull the question up, the other thing as to why the QD, if you think about it, the QD is sold primarily for domestic machines. It is really, really, really rare that a domestic sewing machine is on a larger frame. Typically because of this audience that this sells to is an audience that doesn't have the space, right? And you may be one of them. You may be looking around like, how does he know? Well, it's because just talking to a lot of people, we know that the space is also a confined thing for the quilters. So the QD Breeze has been primarily sold for all domestics. And so as you're looking at automation, if you're looking at automation for a long arm, The one you want to get is a Quilter's Creative Touch 6. This is, again, primarily for the audience who has domestic machines that we want you to know, or we want you to now have this accessory to automate your home sewing machine, which is incredible. So
the first question that we have is about QCT6, asking the tablet is not included. That's correct. With Quilt Motion X, though, the tablet is included. So there are two different systems. The tablet, though, you can purchase it from us or a dealer, or you can get it from Amazon or Best Buy. The specs I will put in the comments so that you can follow that link to know exactly what kind of frame that you need. The other question we have is, can you talk about wheels and carriage? What's the difference? Like, why wouldn't a domestic machine have wheels when you're saying it doesn't have that?
Yeah, because domestic is a sewing machine that you use to do your piecing, right? Normally that's what those domestics or the sewing machines are meant for, is a piecing, and we are turning those machines into a quilting machine. So like the machine right behind us, this Juki, a lot of it is used to piece, right? To do all your piecing. But we've, over the years, turned these types of machines into free motion quilting and move it around, as long as you can lower the feed dogs. So machines that have wheels on them are typically mid or long arm machines that sit directly on a carriage that move around, whereas a Cutie Breeze has a flat carriage where your machine that's flat at the bottom will sit directly on top of that.
Okay, so let me pop up the image of the pricing on QMX. So you can see there, if you're buying just QMX for domestic machines, it's $14.99. You're saving $500. And then you can pair it with the Cutie Breeze. They had the wrong price on there. They had $1999.95. It's normally $2199.95. And then the special is $19.99 to buy the two together. So if you don't have the Breeze already now, this is a great time to get it going. So we're going to turn these on. I'm going to move this slightly out of the way.
This has been a product that I have been super excited to always demonstrate and especially sell. This customer who's buying this, Jana, you're the domestic buyer who is like, no, I have all these machines and I want to turn it into a long arm experience and have that option. And what an opportunity it is to have your own sewing machine move around and create that experience.
Well, or you're the person that's like, I'm limited on space, but I'm also limited on price, right? Like maybe you'd really love to put a 19 on here and get QCT, but the thought of the thousands of dollars that would take compared to the only $2,000 if you're getting the machine the frame and the automation, much easier to swallow or to finance or anything like that.
That's right. So from the ground up, setup, super easy, and we do have videos out there. You can see the setup, but it's real easy, probably an hour or less to get it set up. Pretty much out of the box, it is plug and play. You do need to attach a couple things, but a couple things come already almost pre-assembled that you just need to attach to the frame. So setup is real easy. Don't let that intimidate you. Again, there's videos out there you can watch, but it's super easy, super fun. And I say super fun because it's not a head scratcher or you're not sweating to do all of this. It's just really simple.
And the instructions are so easy to follow. When we went to Houston this year, this was the first time we were setting it up and presenting it to people. We trained on it, but didn't really have that whole experience. And so I was kind of like, okay, is this gonna happen? And how bad is it? And we actually had a team off, and so Allegra and I and Mark and Damien were like, okay, let's set it up together and go. And we weren't rushing like to really be a speed race, but it was kind of like, okay, and it was great to see how easy it was to get everything set up. In the back here you can see the section where it will hook together. There's belts set together. The other thing I love that you can watch on the video is that I can unhook the belts and do free motion. With QCT, if you have that, you can loosen the belts, but the belts are still going through the section and they kind of can feel a little stiff. These, though, have the levers that disconnect from the belt completely.
Clamp it down, You just a couple switches, flick them and you're good to go.
And then you're able to just go. And I'm just gonna make sure that they're engaged so that we can
So
get going.
as she does that, there's a checklist that happens on the screen. So we're going to go ahead and now we're going to place a couple patterns. I don't know if we have the foot pedal for this one, but maybe not. That's okay. There's 3 ways for this to work on all domestics. Most machines either have a start-stop on the machine.
And this is a
This is
Burnett,
one.
and it does have
Yep.
one, yeah.
Or a foot pedal, you use your foot pedal, or a speed control, or a sure-stitch regulator. And both the speed control or the regulator is a compatible product that needs to be compatible with your machine. So the majority of these can probably use a foot pedal, which is super easy, or if you start-stop. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this one with the start-stop. And we have a full fabric here that I'm just going to move this over to the left here so we can have an area. And if you want to come in here, Jenna, or you stay on the side, it's up to you. But the screen. So as we look at the screen, there are 5 options to do from here. But we have quilt, settings, library, and help and website, which is really nice. So we're going to go to quilt. Okay, and it brings up this home device. This is telling the system kind of at the top left to home it in. Before you start, and I believe this one was already set for that, but we'll go ahead and.
And it's good to just rehome it every time you're starting again, so that you have that available.
Yep.
And then here comes our checklist. As you can see, if you've done your checklist enough times, you can say, "Oh, don't show again," but it can say, "Okay, have you installed a new needle?" Right? Because that's important to make it going. Have you threaded your machine? Have you wound a couple of bobbins? These are all good checklists when you're first starting the next thing. Next, we're going to switch to quilt mode on your machine if that's an option, right? The Little Rebel has that. Have we covered or lowered our feed dogs? You know, as many times as people think like, I don't need this checklist, I can't tell you how many times someone has in the Facebook group said, I'm having terrible tension on my Little Rebel. I don't know what the problem is. And then someone will say, did you lower the feed dogs? And you're like, or did you put the presser foot down? Oh, no, I didn't do that. So it's always good reminders. If possible, set your machine needle to stop in the up position. And then get your foot pedal cable so you can reach it to the machine as the machine moves, because you don't want it to like drag on the back and then get stuck. Test the movement of the machine on the frame. Close both belt clamps like I was doing to make sure that it'll work. And tack down your fabric edges.
Okay, so once you go down checklist, right now we're going to go check all because we checked all that. Then we're going to go to start quilting. So this is the next screen, and as we go through this process, on the left side of the screen, you will see that there's 1, 2, and 3. These are the steps. The first step is pick a pattern, second step is place a pattern, and third step is sew. As you do all of these, you see right now number 1 is grayed out because I'm still on this one. And so we're going to have to pick a design. And so right now we're going to do a block design. And when you get this automation, you get 10 block patterns, 10 edge-to-edge patterns, and then also 10 credits to choose 10 more patterns, and that could be a mix of block and edge-to-edge. So total at the end, you can have 30 patterns. But you could also add more. You could add more patterns through our pattern library, and design your patterns and save them through the file types.
And it's important that when you're getting the patterns, you're not getting them through just this tablet. You have to go into the website and sign in and register for your thing. Now, if you go in and you haven't registered and you're like, where are all my free patterns? You have to register, and then your credits will show up too. Also, your credits are just when you're purchasing some of the other designs that are in there. As you purchase it, you'll purchase it at the moment. Don't add the design to your cart and then try and get the credit that way. It's right in the moment that you can just say, I'm buying that credit.
Right. Okay, so we're going to do that one. So we're going to go ahead and choose the design library. Okay, and we are going to go to type because I want to get a block pattern, and we'll do this one. Okay, and we'll go ahead and just pick something simple.
These are so fun designs. I
I
want
know.
to put them on a quilt.
Picking a pattern is probably the hardest thing you're going to have to do on here because you're going to have to choose what pattern is best for you. But I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to confirm the selection. Okay, and I'm going to hit next. Okay, so now you see number 1 is grayed or not grayed out, and number 2, because now we got to place it. And you see we have A, B, C, and D placements. And the other thing I want you to notice is when I move this around on the screen, you see the crosshair moving back and forth. That is where your needle is. So that is very cool to know, because now you know exactly pinpoint where you're going to go. So we're going to make sure we have room over here, and we'll come back this way. And what we're going to do is place that as A. And you can see I'm up here in the corner, and the pattern is right down here. So once I hit A, it's going to move right up there where I want it to be placed. So you see the pattern went right over there and place it.
And you can see the proportion will stay the same until you place all your nodes.
Yep. And if I get this straight, that's great. If not, you'll notice that it could be a little wonky, which is also fine, because it's going to fit exactly in. So you see my wonky right there? It'll fit right in there. So I'm going to move this over just so it doesn't look as wonky.
I like your wonky word.
Yeah, there you go. So now I did that part, and I'm going to hit next. And so this screen now allows you to edit your design. You can stretch it. Right now I have it off, or if you hit stretch and go on, you look at the pattern. When I hit stretch, the pattern stretches within my block. You can also rotate, and you also flip. So you have several cool customizations you can do on this screen, which is really nice. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Okay. So we're about a couple steps away from quilting. And so this is telling me to move my machine to the start point. Meaning I want, on a pattern, there's a start and end point. Right now, the start point is down here in the corner. So if I actually just moved it up here and I hit move, which is why the checklist has your needle up, because that machine is going to move down. So you get this error, not an error, a warning.
A reminder, yes.
A reminder, warning, yes.
You need so many.
Make sure your needle is up. Okay, so we'll press OK, and the machine is going to move down to that starting point. Okay, so we're going to hit next. Okay, by default, you see it says start the countdown. And so by default,
dun, dun, dun.
It's 3. So go 3, 2, 1. And when it hits 1, you hit the start button on your machine, or the foot pedal on your floor, or the speed dial, you turn it on, or hit the on button, or the sur stitch. But that countdown, because you have to be unified with the machine. And I mean that because the automation earlier you said is not connected to the machine.
Which is why it works with so many different
Yes.
domestic, because it doesn't have to talk to the machine. It just has to talk to the frame.
Correct. So when I hit start, you'll see it says 3, 2, 1, and on 1, we will go ahead and press down the machine and get it going. So we're going to hit, and this has a little bit of delay, so probably pretty much on 1 we'll hit it. So you see it?
It's quilting.
Okay.
Now, it's hard to follow the screen as it's moving around. Our cameraman cannot keep following. So we're going to look at the sewing that's happening, and you can see that it's going along there, doing that lovely design that Mark picked out. And now here's the temptation. Well, it's quilting. I'm going to walk away.
Yes.
That is a terrible temptation, because once it gets done, you don't want to have it just sewing in place forever, because the
That's
machine
right.
you started, and it's just going to keep going.
That's right. On the screen, though, we have a pause button. And so this is important, because if you need to pause it, you also have to stop the machine. Again, I talk about being unified. You and the machine have to be synced together. So as you see, it's going to finish here soon. And so we'll have to press the button.
Now, I don't know if you heard, but there's a little beep that goes dee-dee, and that tells you, I'm about to stop. You're like right almost to the edge. So you have to be really careful to make sure that you're watching and listening for that section. But if you can't hear it, right? Like, we were in a very loud area when we were demonstrating it, and I couldn't hear the beeps, but I could watch it on the screen
You know
and
what's
make
gonna
sure
finish,
it's
yeah.
about to stop. So I've got to get that ready.
Okay, so I don't know about you, but I just want to be excited right now, because I just have a domestic machine that went by itself
You
with
just
the
quilted a
automated system. I just
beautiful
quilted a
design.
beautiful design. So my machine can now create customs. Not saying that Free Motion is not customized quilting, but automated quilts you can now have for your domestic machine. So I just did a block pattern. How cool is
so cool.
that?
I'm going to check to make sure we've got
Yeah,
any
that is
questions
amazing.
coming up.
Now, as she's checking on that, if we go to the screen here, what it shows is show repair tools. And what this does is allow you to repair your pattern if your thread breaks, if the bobbin breaks, or if your needle breaks, because we all know that those three things can happen. But if you hit show repair, okay, you can see you have options here. The closest stitch, last stitch, backward and forward. Okay, and you also have nudge, so you can nudge the machine. So you can now take it to the last stitch or closest stitch and get it back, resuming where that issue had taken place.
I love that feature because that's just like the big dogs, the QCT6, the other things. It's like, just because I have a smaller machine and a smaller frame, I don't lose any of that wonderful program that allows me to get started.
Yep. Okay. So now what we want to do is do a edge to edge.
I love edge to edge. Edge to
Okay.
edge is great.
And again, we talked about doing the foot pedal. Okay, so if we had a foot pedal, you can do the same thing. Now, one thing that I want to mention is on your machine, you normally have a slider on your machine from a bunny or from a turtle to a bunny, right, to go faster. Put that near the middle, and that allows you to put the foot pedal all the way down.
So you're not getting a cramp in your foot as you're holding it only
Cramp in
halfway.
cramp in your foot, or those if you notice the machine has this quilting. Now, as I look down here, all the stitches are the same length. I know you can't see it from where you're at, but all the stitches are the same length, and that is because the automation is smart enough to know that, you know, when you go around corners, it's not going to fly off, and you're able to control that. And that's because you as well putting your slider in the middle so that you can just hit play, or you can just have your foot pedal all the way down and just rest on there. You can actually just put something on top of it if you wanted to, or squeeze it with your hand. But the majority of those,
Because that's the other thing is, like, if you don't have an extension for your foot pedal, right, and you can bring it up over the top here and just hold it and squeeze rather than putting it on the floor, because, you know, nothing's worse than laying down and trying to push that foot pedal, and then you're like, oh wait, I can't, you know.
Yes.
If you leave off of it, it's going to stop sewing and it's not going to know. The frame is just going to keep talking to the automation and it'll keep sewing, but your foot pedal will be gone.
that's correct. So we're going to go back to the okay. And we're going to go back to now the pantograph. I'm going to check all those again.
Now again, you can turn that off if you're wanting to.
That's right. So now on the pantograph, same exact thing as we did with the block, but now I'm going to choose a edge to edge. So I'm going to go to pattern library. I'm going to go to my type. I'm going to go to my edge to edge. And let's say I'm going to do the curl circle. Okay, I'm going to put that on there. All right, now I'm going to place it. I'm going to actually cut. Let me grab some scissors.
Oh, here, I'll just do the trimming right there. There we go. We've trimmed our thread.
Perfect.
It had a
Those-
trim.
I like trim, but to be honest, sometimes the trim can cut the tail too short and it will de-thread itself. So I was going to cut it. Perfect. Okay, so as I'm going to place this now, same thing. I'm going to hit next, and on the screen now we have the next option is design height. I love this because now you can design your pattern exactly how tall you want it. If you're working in a 2-inch area, a 3-inch area, a 4-inch, or 1 inch, it doesn't matter. You can now size your pattern. And we have a ruler. If you hit the hamburger at the top right, there's a ruler option that you can now choose, so you can measure down, so you know exactly how far from the top, especially if you don't want to overlap that. So you can see the ruler option that's right there. You can now measure the distance, so you can keep the distance apart exactly. Okay, so right now my screen is telling me that my pattern is 2.5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and keep that, but if I wanted to, I can hit plus and make it 3. And you see the pattern is changing to the size. I'm going to hit next. Now we have a start and end. That's all we need to start it. So I'm going to say I'm going to go right here and to say that's my start. And you see where my needle is. You're going to notice that the pattern is going to move over to that starting point.
And it's depending on how big the design is, it's going to tell you how much space you have to do that. So this one has 2 swirls.
Yep.
So it's going to give us 2 swirls and then not have enough for additional swirls on there.
That's right. So now I did that. I'm going to hit next. Again, this is all pretty much like the same as doing your block. So I'm going to hit move to the start.
He'll come back to where he began.
Okay. Okay, and we're going to hit that start down again. So we'll go ahead and hit, and when it gets to 1, because of the delay, we'll hit that a little earlier, like right now.
And now it's going to quilt out.
Yes.
So some questions we've had from people about this is, how do I access the design library if I can add more designs or less designs? So the designs don't live on this tablet.
No.
So you do have to have Wi-Fi or a connection to the internet so that you can connect to your design library. And that's how you sign in and register it. But you can add additional designs into the design library. Just sign into our website, the design library is there. You can add in designs from the ones that are in the design library. You can upload designs that you have from other systems. We're just waiting for the end. There's our little beep. I don't know if you heard it. It was like dee dee. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got our swirls all finished.
Again, I want everybody to share in the excitement as me, because this is pretty powerful. A domestic automated system that is powerful, and I want everybody right now to get out of your chair and like shout for joy or do something, because now you can be like those long armors. You can have a customized quilt for under $2,000 when you buy it with the Cutie Breeze, or $1,500 when you buy just the automation itself.
When you have the Breeze already.
When you have the Breeze already.
Yeah.
So you can customize quilts for $1,500 if you have the Breeze, again, or under $2,000 with the Cutie. Or we can say $2,000, it's $1,999. So however you want to look at it, it could be either or. But just really, really exciting a product for your machine to create those quilts from beginning to end and customize your quilts. And so when your friends or loved ones get it, you can have joy knowing that you finish your quilt from beginning to end. I heard a stat the other day too, that a lot of quilters, Jana, who take their quilts in to get quilted, could cost anywhere from like $2,000 to $4,000 a year, right?
Oh my goodness.
Well,
One quilt kind of pays for it.
Yeah, so you can kind of pay for it. You can see where I'm going with this. But again, fantastic product. Local dealers have it. Again, check out local dealer. Give us a call as well.
If you have questions, if you've got it set up, our
Yep.
tech support is ready to help. If you've got any questions about
Yep.
how do I access my designs, how do I
Yes.
get more designs, you can talk to our
Yes.
sales team about that. Picture Stitcher is another thing that's an option. It takes your pictures and works through the whole program
And turns
then
it into
turns into a line drawing.
Yes.
Now, if you're doing on QMX versus other design store automations, you can also upload those. So if you've got, the one thing you can't do very well is embroidery designs. If you've got a lot of those and you upload it into the store, because they are multiple point, multiple needles, they're just not going to be able to save down a flat enough file for the QMX.
Right. Okay, so the QMX FD, the star of our product the last 3 months. I'm telling you this because this is true. It has been hard to keep them in stock.
It's
Okay,
true.
everybody's been ordering. We don't sell over 1,400 units just because it's a product that's like, yeah, I'm just going to put this on.
I'm just checking, making sure we're
It's-
getting all these
It's
questions.
because it's been a popular item that works with your machine right out of the gate. So if you're looking to get yours, check with your local dealer. A lot of our dealers have bought multiple units of this just because they know how exciting this product is. So get with them. Give us a call if you have any questions, or if you're looking to order it, we'll be happy to help you out as well.
And if your dealer doesn't have it, go and
Ask
tell
them
them.
why,
Say, why
yes.
don't you have this in your store? You've got other Grace products. I came to see QMX, so that they'll bring it in, and then you can test it out
Right.
and see what it's like and play with it before you purchase.
Was there any other questions?
Nope. I just popped up that one where she said she
Okay.
loved her QMX, so we're excited. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope that you had a lot of fun learning about QMX and the Hummingbird and our sales going on. Again, contact us. You can call us, talk to our dealers. You can watch the videos on YouTube, all those kinds of
Yep.
things. So
Have a happy Thanksgiving
yes.
and great holidays coming up, and stay with us for our next one.
And we'll see you at Winter Market on December 5th.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.